Previously on Gmoney's blog.
Hey, me and Metal Hog are in purgatory.
Oh, yeah, no, leave me here, that's fine.
Look, I'm not doing another gaming corner without Metal Hog.
Well, this continues to be pretty gay.
Or find a suitable replacement. That's it, Origami Hog. You're going down. Ah! We're trying to resurrect Metal Hog from the dead.
I'm back, baby. Well, that was anticlimactic.
Sorry, Gmoney. Oh! Ain't your mama, ain't your mima, ain't your daddy.
I'm sorry, Gmoney. I just can't figure out what exactly is wrong with him.
But Professor, this doesn't make any sense. It's been like multiple years. All I did was beat him up after he super sucked me.
Well, I'll have to scrub that mental image out of my head later, but right now, there's not much we can do besides wait.
But it's already been so long. What am I supposed to do in the meantime?
I don't know. What do I look like, your sugar daddy? Besides, doesn't every game enthusiast have a backlog of games that haven't even played yet?
Yeah, I don't really feel like it.
Well, I don't care if you play your backlog or log some shit from your back flap. Just find yourself something to do.
So what?
In the meantime, I'm gonna see if there's anything I can do to speed up the recovery. It's alright, Gmoney. We'll figure this out.
Alright, Professor. Just please call me if anything changes.
Who else am I gonna call? The Pope?
Jeez, what am I gonna do till then? How long have you all been standing back there?
1,350 days.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of a psychological thing. Most reasons gamers even have game backlogs is due to the amount of games they have divided by the amount of time they don't have. So when people actually want to sit down and play a game, they stress about the amount of time they've allocated to experience a brand new title. Usually they can't decide what new game to play and just play a game they've already played 20 times over. Sure, when I was a kid, I was able to play every game I had at the time, but that was because I didn't have a lot of games to start with and didn't even know how to comprehend what death was.
We're playing Genshin Impact. Want to join? Osama!
But now that I make good YouTube content,
Now that's debatable.
I finished college and started to look for a full-time career, time is really scarce. Plus, new games coming out, sales making games very cheap, and the fact that there's still games only on certain consoles, you can't really play every single game in your backlog, which really sucks because I always remember games in my backlog that I would love to invest time into if I had time.
Well, you have nothing but time now. You should be able to at least sit down and play one game.
Yes, in theory. But in practice, I'm more of a, how you say, ADHD-ridden fucknot. So every time I boot up a new game and have to wait more than 5 seconds for actual good gameplay, I internally start screaming like a kid that just went 5 days without a vape. And don't even get me started when you start playing a game halfway through, go on to play another game, then come back to the same game and experience dementia for preteens. It just sucks for someone like me to get into all these new games and have to stress a lot about all these extra variables. They are. It's just, I want something to thin out all the extra variables, you know? It's just, I wish there was actually a singular device out there that I'd want to sit down on and invest and enjoy a singular game. Huh, I got an email. What is this, 1996?
Who is that joke even for?
There he is! After fucking 3 days of FedEx canceling it and uncanceling it and canceling it and uncanceling it, I finally have it in my possession. Let's fucking open this thing. Oh, it's taped all the way around. I'm dumb. I'm not an unboxing channel. I'm not unboxing theory, okay? Oh, it's open. It's opening like your mom's legs for my cock. Oh, there's an address here. I should probably... Hold on.
That's just self-centered and racist.
Oh, shit. No way. They put the fucking companion cube type in it. This game case. I'm very hyped that they actually included a game case with this. Because I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck am I going to take this places if I don't have a fucking carrying case? Is it locked? Oh, this is locked. I gotta scissor this too? What are you, a lesbian? Wow. 1, 2, 3. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, that's a hefty boy.
That console looks familiar.
Who cares? I just got a Steam Deck. You know how many things you can do with this glorified Wii U gamepad?
I'll show you.
Get your ass off that Switch, nigga.
When I saw the first mentions of the Steam Deck, my first thought was, is the hardware strong enough on its own to actually make this a viable gaming infrastructure? Actually, that was a lie. My first thought was, bye-bye, money! But after actually having it for a while and feeling it with my greasy digits, I can now say with full confidence that this has everything hardware-wise to play 99% of all games. Now, when you first pre-order the actual console, there's actually 3 different versions available from about $400 to $600, with the only main difference being the storage amount. The storage amount within the system. I got the 256GB version because A, the storage was upgradable using an SD card, and B, at the time I worked off GameStop's salary, which is either $7 or $8.15 store fucking credit. But I still wanted a Steam Deck with at least an operating system on an NVMe SSD. By the way, I understand that a lot of you aren't gonna understand anything about the actual components, but just to give you an analogy, a console without an SSD is like me without Viagra. So for the nerds out there like me, here's all the techno mumbo jumbo on the screen all at once. That way I can entertain the PC illiterate people that make up 99% of my audience. The first time I actually held it, I was surprised on how light it was, despite the fact that it was a chunkster. It was a chunkster. It was a chunkster. It was a chunkster.
He's dead.
The button placement was a little weird due to the 2 trackpads for the mouse play, but it actually was really comfy after I got used to it. The build quality for this thing is amazing. From the big and viewable LED screen to the button placement and ergonomic shape of the back, this console really shows a level of quality assurance I've never seen before with any other products like it. The battery, though, was what really surprised me. From almost every game I've played, I was able to get at least 3 hours of playtime straight. So the battery definitely packed a punch compared to the V1 Switch, which was the main console I used due to I want to hack every console I ever own syndrome. It also charges pretty fast as well due to the USB-C port used to charge and hook up peripherals like hard drives, controllers, vibrators, etc. I do actually recommend buying a cheap $20 dock for your TV for this thing, because plus everything else, it can also hook up to a spare TV or monitor. Look, it's just not working out, okay? We've clearly been drifting apart over the years.
Liar! It's some other console, isn't it?
Oh god, don't start a scene.
How big is their processor?
The hardware that's in here is also weirdly powerful for such a thin form factor. It has a powerful processor for a lot of AAA games, full gyro, and even dual trackpads with full haptic feedback. I guess there's no need for that vibrator peripheral. It was even said by Valve that they decided to bite the cost for the console itself and sell it at a loss just to provide a powerful system for cheap to the masses, which honestly is one of the most respectable moves I've seen a video game company do in a while. Hell, they even worked with iFixit to make every component of the Steam Deck purchasable. So if anything goes wrong with it, you could go the warranty route, or you can actually fix it yourself with full support from the actual manufacturer.
What was that?
Oh, that was just my old iPhone committing suicide after realizing it'll never be pro right to repair. Whoa, what the fuck was that?
Not cool, bro.
Yeah, but Metal Hog's usually a little more general with the insults. Jeez.
Yeah, you should really apologize. That's his mother, man.
Apology accepted. Besides, I want to move on to what I think about the software.
Just like how software is, you fat, impotent piece of shit.
Oh, Metal Hog! You know, I've been calling this handheld a console this entire time, but in reality, it's more of a really portable PC. Silly console peasants! And that fact definitely shines through when you take a look at the customizability of this console based on its software.
Alright, have a beautiful day.
First and foremost, the SteamOS is just... What? No, dude! Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this penguin like a lot of other people, but I have to say, this does make the console way more responsive and snappy as a whole. And yes, I know, you can just skip the whole learning how to suck off a penguin part and just install Windows because this is a PC, but I've been seeing a lot of games running worse on Windows. So for once, I'm using Linux. But it goes without saying that Windows is the best OS to have on PCs. And it goes without saying about the wonderful Game Pass support we're getting nowadays.
You just lost activation privileges.
But enough about Linux. Lots of people aren't even going to switch to the desktop mode. So let's talk about the real OS star of the show. SteamOS Gaming Mode. I'm not a game. A completely customizable console-like interface where everything can be launched seamlessly.
A few moments later.
But not really.
We have been hoodwinked!
Look, for as much as the Steam Deck does with its gaming interface, there sure are a lot of bugs to iron out of it. First off, the onboard keyboard is clunky as hell and feels as responsive as my nipples doused in lidocaine. It also has this problem with inputs after you wake it up from sleep mode. So I guess the Steam Deck also has sleep paralysis. The first time I ever put an SD card in it, which mind you is about 500 gigabytes, so about $60, was bricked using the standard format feature, which literally every console has! I actually want to take a second and actually show y'all what you should do so this doesn't happen to anybody else. Step 1, download Disk Genius. Step 2, plug in an SD card. Step 3, format the SD card to ext4. That's it. Money saved.
Wow, it's almost like you actually don't like the Steam Deck and you are just a nihilistic piece of shit who doesn't like anything and will never amount to anything in life and will die a horrible death surrounded by no one because you push away everyone you love.
But despite all of the trials and tribulations, I'm actually very happy with the Steam Deck. I like the way everything is organized. I like that all the Steam's functions are all possible through the gaming mode. I like that you can customize games with profiles that fine-tune the hardware for that specific game. I like that you can toggle the hardware and frame rate overlay whenever you want. I like that it had native folder support. And I especially love the Proton layer. See, Linux uses a whole other language of coding that's incredibly different from Windows, but Windows has the most game developer support out of any OS.
Yeah, you got that right.
I'm not done, Bill!
Sorry.
So SteamOS has this software called Proton. Its main purpose is to take Windows applications and make them usable on Linux. And trust me, I'm gonna talk a lot more about this. And on top of all that, we have to talk about the Steam input. This might be one of the best additions any console could ever have. On a per game basis, you can completely customize every bit of the controls. And when I mean every bit, I mean every You can change what the buttons do. You can invert the trackpad/joysticks. You can create different sets for different parts of the game, and you can enable the trackpad to actually do mouse stuff in-game. It's so versatile and awesome, and really shows that they want to give us every means to customize the game experience to anything we want. You can even plug in or connect different controllers to the Steam Deck. In fact, forget different controllers, plug in a mouse and keyboard and play some fucking Among Us waifus 18 plus with the boys! Oh, and this is all without stating that it can do all of this hooked up to a monitor as well. Like, holy crap, how the hell does Nintendo not just seppuku itself already? This thing can literally do it all. Want to play a game? Steam Deck. Want to finish your taxes? Steam Deck. Want to kill someone? Steam Deck! Well, I guess we're gonna find out. Egad, is everything okay?
Gmoney, I have news.
Okay, what is it?
Something unexpected has shown up in my readings. I think it'll be easier to explain if you come to my lab. I'm gonna have to use the thing.
No, not the thing, not the thing!
Nigga.
Ah! Oh, God. What's this all about, Egad?
This problem might be a little more complicated than expected.
How complicated could it possibly be? He super sucked me, I hit him. Boom. Coma.
Again, I'll be scrubbing that info from my brain at some point, but realistically, I don't think that caused the coma. I was performing a scan on Luigi's brain to make sure his consciousness was still intact due to the cognitive anti-stimuli. I was making sure that the coma wasn't making him retarded.
Oh.
It showed that his consciousness was intact, which is odd enough for someone who is in a coma, but that's not the thing that's concerning me. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time I checked, everyone has one mind. So I guess Luigi missed the memo.
Luigi is schizophrenic? Actually, that explains a lot.
No, you poor excuse for a brain cell cluster. This means that there is another entity inside Luigi, and it seems to have attached itself to Luigi's cerebrum.
What does that even mean?
It means whoever this is, they're causing Luigi to be in the coma.
So why don't we just bite of 87 that bitch out of there?
Well, it's not entirely that simple. It's giving off a very specific energy that could damage Luigi's brain if attempted to remove. But I found a dreamwave that would allow us to travel into his consciousness.
So we're pulling a dream team right now?
Not quite yet. It seems that it needs to apply multiple frequencies from different console types to unlock the Dreamwave. But unfortunately, eBay will take about 3 weeks just to ship this Dreamcast.
Lots of dream stuff going on here.
If only there was a way to play all these consoles on a singular device. Oh, this is part of the review, isn't it?
Why not put games on my game console?
I'm sorry, what?
Shut your bitch ass!
So, we've talked about how much of a beast this console is, but a console is only as good as its games. So it begs the question, how many games can you actually play on the deck?
And now, the consoles of the deck, brought to you by Gmoney's Buck. I fucking hate animation. NES, DS, Atari, 3DS, 32X, 3DO, a Genesis, Saturn, TurboGrafx, and Super Nintendo, Game Gear, PSP, Vita, Game Boy Color, GameCube, Sega CD, Neo Geo Pocket Color. There's Wii and Wii U, PlayStation 1 and 2, Nintendo 64, a Game Boy Advance CDI, Commodore 64, and there's way more. Dreamcast MAME, PS3, and Switch can be kinda dumb. PC Engine, Virtual Boy, and Sega Master System. Intellivision, ColecoVision, Jaguar, and Lynx. Back to MS-DOS. What the hell is Vectrix? There's Atari 26 all the way to 9200. Nintendo Pokemon Mini. And also anything, almost anything, absolutely anything, already on Steam.
And you wonder why nobody will have sex with you.
Any game I have wanted to play on the Steam Deck has run way better than expected. First off, there's the actual Steam Store library, which realistically is what about 99% of all PC gamers use. We don't talk about the 1%. And Steam has even created a rating system called Verified that shows you which games in your Steam library will work perfectly without any configuration. Now, even though most of the games are not rated under this system, it still gives you a good idea of what games are ready to go when you install them. And that's just the actual Steam library. There's still a lot more games that can be played on this. Epic Games Launcher, after what I would say is about 30 minutes of configuration, worked fine for what it is. At least you guys can play Fortnite! Wow, they really added a lot to this vomit. I would say the only games you can't play locally would be anything on Xbox Game Pass, which is disappointing due to how perfect it would have been for people that don't really want to spend money for a lot of AAA games. But on the bright side, you could still play it through game streaming. Man, I really gotta chew my food. Now, the Proton layer I mentioned previously can run most Windows applications without a pinch, so there's a lot of software you can keep in mind. DRM-free games, fan games, piracy, and it will, most of the time, work without any hiccups. Ooh, and they'll run as smooth as butter. Butter. Copper. But the one thing I think is incredible and is what most people talk about when they review this thing is emulation. And let me tell ya, the Steam Deck and emulation go together like Bill Cosby and pills. Fun in short term, but then you go to jail. Nintendo, I know for a fact, was very keen on hiding this function of the deck by taking down any types of tutorials showing how to do it. Unlucky for them, I don't give a fuck. So after you have obtained your legally acquired ROMs, go over to the desktop mode of the Steam Deck and search EmuDeck in the web browser. Download the file, go to the install, and check off all your overall preferences. After that's done installing, add all the legally acquired ROMs to the designated folder for each console. Run this program called Steam ROM Manager, select Preview, generate app list, wait for this number to become 0 as in the people that love me, wait until it's done saving, go back to gaming mode, boom, virginity. Hi there, Editor Mike from fucking 2 years later. This tutorial might actually be out of date now due to me procrastinating this video to hell. So,
sorry.
This honestly takes about 20 minutes for the initial setup and 3 minutes anytime you want to add more legally acquired ROMs. And truthfully, the smoothest I've ever seen an emulator setup of this caliber ever gone. Sure, for some emulators you have to make some configurations before playing, which is what Google searches for. But after all the emulators you want are set up, I genuinely don't believe anyone should ever emulate on anything else. Smooth frame rate, perfect controller input, barely has to configure the actual emulator itself. This is what emulatees have been looking for. Emulatees, that just sounds like you are missing a foot or something. Some things to note, newer emulation like Switch or PS3 don't run perfectly, but that's more of the emulator itself still having to constantly update to fix any bugs. So one day it'll get there. But literally everything else runs seamlessly. Remember how we joked about it looking like a glorified Wii U gamepad? Well, why stop there? Turn it into the glorified Wii U gamepad. Me being able to play Yoshi's Woolly World on the go? No, I'm not talking about you! Showing you how beautifully this can be done, making it, in my opinion, the perfect game console to play any game on.
Perfect! Now let me just install V-Boy's new Lucid Dream firmware, and we're all set.
Listen, I know Luigi is the main priority in all this, but when we're done, I've had this dream about sandy cheeks that I'd really like to revisit. Well, this is less interesting than I thought.
I am getting PTSD.
Gmoney, look! All we have to do is destroy that neuron lock and Luigi should be free.
Yeah, and that block looks familiar.
Shut up, you headache enhancer, and just blast the damn thing! I'm missing the golden girls!
What happened?
My resurrection! Finally, after months of hibernation, I am free.
Origami Hog?
Nay, I am much more than that now. From now on, call me
Abominable?
Abominable Hog.
But this doesn't make any sense. How?
Well, it's simple quantum mechanics, my best friend. You are also focused on reviving the contents of Purgatory. You forgot who else resides there. Little old me. So after the ritual, I swiftly snuck my consciousness into the most empty-headed person in the room.
Luigi.
Precisely! I was only planning on using his body as a temporary cocoon using my origami power. But that's when you knocked him out, transporting all of his brain power to his subconscious, which is where my cocoon resided, making me infinitely more powerful than I initially was.
God, even your exhibition dumps are horribly crafted.
Yes, but so will the world be when I'm done with it. I'm going to use my powers to remove all good things from the planet, making the world as mediocre as I was, making me the best in the world!
Mediocre?
We have to do something.
Any last words before I turn you into a mediocre piece of shit?
I've wasted time.
Ha! I get it. You wasted your time on my game. Har.
No, that's not what I meant. When I was a kid, I used to never care what games I played, or what I played them on. I was just happy playing whatever random game I got. But now that I rarely have free time, I desperately try to make the experience of gaming perfect. I spend hours trying to find the perfect game to play, trying to perfect the hardware I play the games on, and trying to make my gaming experience as pleasing as possible right out of the gate. And because of that, it created a lot of anxiety surrounded by the sought-after perfection. It got to the point where it's not even worth trying to start a game because it'll feel like I'm wasting my time.
You're wasting my time right now.
Yeah, I know, and that's the point. Just trying not to waste time by weeding out all these extra variables and trying to perfect gaming did waste my time. It doesn't matter what you play it on. It doesn't matter if it was good or bad or critically acclaimed or critically bashed. All that matters is that while you were playing it, you had fun. And if you're having fun, you're not wasting time, you're savoring it. And even though your game is objectively flawed, and I hate the future it stands for, it did not waste my time.
Thank you, Gmoney.
Well, that was something.
Well, we're all here, fat ass. What do you want to review next?
Honestly, nothing. Look, reviewing games and all is fun, and I love showing off my favorite and hated things related to gaming. But right now, after all that reviewing and lore, I want to actually sit down and play through some of my gaming backlog. I mean, I haven't even played Bayonetta 3 yet. I played half of Eastward about 4 years ago. Hollow Knight Silksong is coming out soon. Hopefully. And there's so many other games I haven't even thought of trying yet. Maybe at some point I'll come back to the gaming corner and review something. But for now, I just want to play some games. And isn't that what the gaming corner was all about? Playing games? And now that I have the perfectly adequate console to play them on, I can finally have some time to play some games and have some fun.
So, what do we do in the meantime? I don't really have any games I wanna play. Maybe I'll take a vacation or something.
Oh yeah. No,
Good timing. I mean...